Good morning. It is March 31st of 2023, and it has been a while since I have done one of these videos, and I apologize for not keeping up with it. I've actually had a lot on my plate lately between work and life, and not only that, I think it's just good to take a break every now and then to just reflect and focus on some other things in life as well. But one thing that I have enjoyed is doing the one-on-ones with so many of you, and it's just been so much fun to be able to work with such talented traders. And believe it or not, I get just as much out of it as you guys do. So I look forward to the future uh, one-on-ones with a lot of you out there. And we've had some interesting things happen in the market recently here, and we've got earnings coming up within the Nasdaq within about a month here or so, and you can start to see that the market's starting to get some legs under it. It seems like ever since the Fed announced that they weren't going to back off and that the banks were collapsing and some of the other things that happened as well, they just literally flushed all the weak hands out of the market and then they moved it right back up. And that's the kind of stuff that you have to not only educate yourself on, but you just have to be aware of how they play this mental game with amateur traders where they get you leaning on the wrong side of the trade and they realize that money is very, very emotional for a lot of you. And the best advice that I ever got was don't look at your P&L, trade the chart. And that's very, very hard, especially if you're new to it and you're trying to trade these quick moves. And not that you can't do it, but I always cringe when I start to talk to people who are trading options on intraday charts because, quite honestly, that is for a professional who knows how to get in and out of the trade. And a lot of you, you want to do it, but you're just not quite there yet. And so, my advice to you is that you need to slow things down. The analogy that I always tell people is that when you get uh, old enough and you want to learn how to play baseball, you know, chances are your mom or dad, whoever is pitching to you, they don't uh, line up and throw the ball as hard as they can at you. They gradually work you into how to make contact with the ball. And for a lot of you, that's just not exciting enough. And so you go down this road of I'm just going to line up against the pitching machine here, and you kind of pull a Happy Gilmore, where Happy will step in front of the pitch, going at about 90 plus miles per hour, and that's not what you want to do. This is something where if you're serious about trading, you need to take a step back and you need to understand that this is a process and you have to learn how to get in and out, but more importantly, you have to understand the trade. And once you get to that point where you have defined what the trade is for you, you're going to find that trading is so much better. You're actually going to enjoy getting up, as I would say, and do the homework because it's the process that you like. And then, of course, the end result, hopefully, is that you're making money. But yeah, for those of you who are new, please, 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 please stop trying to go into the fast pitch machine if you're just learning how to do this. Find someone who has the heart of a teacher, who's willing to slow it down for you and explain the whole process. All right, enough of that lecture over. Let's get to the watch list here because I know that's why you're tuning into this. So what I did here, I basically created a watch list for March 31st here. And every one of these symbols that we have on the watch list here, they all have a setup for me that I'm looking for. And I'm going to try to explain to you what that setup is and why, and what we're kind of looking for. Okay? And just for those of you who are new, this is the year, the quarter, the month, the week, and this is the daily. And right now I have it zoomed into a daily 6 month, but let's go ahead and just pull this back to a 1 year. And I know that's going to be a little bit harder for some of you to see, but I promise if you put it in 720p, it will be worthwhile because we have to understand the big picture as far as what we're trading and why we're trading it. Because so many people do this, okay? They look at that and then they say, okay, why am I not making money? Or maybe you are making money in that time frame. Maybe you're not. I don't know. Or sometimes we'll come down and we'll change the time frame to an intraday chart. But for me, it all starts with this. These bigger time frames tell me a beautiful story. Just like Apple here is very, very uh, how can I say it? It's just a really good book right now to read because we can see that every one of these time frames, they're buying Apple. Look at this, solid green in the year, the quarter, the month, the week, and the daily. And so whenever I see a setup like this where we have all these upticks or the green in these time frames, I'm actually waiting on the daily for things to pull back because just keep in mind that eventually we run, we rest, and then we run, and then we rest, and then we run. And for those of you who couldn't follow that with my mouse, let me go ahead and just draw it here. And you guys have seen this several times where we run, we rest, we run, we rest, and now we're trying to run again. And if we run, we're going to try to get up to this previous high. And look at what we have here, guys. Look at what we have coming up. Look at that. That's earnings right there. Earnings. Earnings, earnings, earnings. Look at how we ran last time here in the earnings. So most NASDAQ stocks will run 1 month out into earnings. Okay, the NASDAQ right now is kind of leading the way with this so-called rally, and it is the strongest so far out of all the indices. Um, all right, so that's what I'm looking for with Apple. AEO, look at this. We got these time frames, year, quarter, month, all red. The week, though, let's look at the week right here. You can see right over here that the week is still green, but if this opens at 1311, which it did, and if we get below this 1311 right here, this is going to turn red. And then look at what we have set up here on the daily. We've got a possible 2-2 reversal back down. Okay. With Apple, going back to that one, we also have a 2-2-2 continuation setup, or we have a 2-2-2 reversal. So those are the kind of things that you want to look at as you go through these charts. AMD is set up for a reversal. And these are going to go much quicker now, I promise. I just wanted to do an in-depth one. Uh, Amazon, 222 continuation at the moment, but it's set up to go reversal. And look at what we have coming up again. Look at that, April 27th. And look at how we bounced right off of here. We consolidated, and now we're trying to move back up. Activision is just flagging right here. And look at what we have coming up. Earnings. BAC, just waiting patiently for this one to set up. You can see that the year, the quarter, and the month all down right now. The week, what would happen with the week if we triggered 2793? This would turn red, right? This would turn red, which then would cause this to reverse down. And I really like how we have this gap down here. BIG, this one is the same kind of setup where you have all the time frames except for the week going down. But again, if we go over here and we look at the week, We can see at a 1031, if we hit below 1031, this is going to trigger full time frame continuity all the way down. And that is what I wrote right there. So hopefully you guys can see that. Uh, Biddy and Biddo, I'm not going to go into this. These are two that I'm learning how to trade as far as Bitcoin and ETFs. Won't go into that. CAT, you can see how we ran to the previous high right here. And now we kind of have this price action where it's pulling back. We had this beautiful bounce right here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now it'll be interesting to see if we just kind of rest and then bounce off the 10, or if we just roll over along with the market if it chooses to do that. Looks good to actually just possibly go lower. Same setup though. We got inside on the week. This one needs a little time. Chewy, same setup. All time frames except for the week. We're just waiting for this one to trigger on the week, which would be 33.93. If it does it, to give us full time frame continuity back down. Cisco is really strong. You can see how we kind of did a run, we rested, a run and a rest, and then we ran out or ran up again, right to previous high again. And so now we'd like to see this thing pull back a little bit, but the next time this thing sets up, we could expect this thing hopefully to take out this previous high. And then you've got these targets up here that look pretty dang good. Look at how it ran right here to the previous high. Isn't that something? I just love how it does that. Ford is doing the old 2122 up on the daily here. This is where we're trying to get to, up in this range, 1310. On the week, we did a 212 up. Looks good. The month, if the month can get above 1235 here, this will have full time frame continuity to the upside. Ford, yeah, learn how to trade Ford. Very affordable, very liquid, and it's just good to learn. FSLY, you can see how we ran to this previous high. Full time frame continuity, looking for a breakout here, and if we do, that right there is your next level. But I'd really like to see this thing rest. It's had buyers all through here, and now I just would like to see this rest, possibly come back down and then go back up. GIS ran to previous target here, and now we're kind of just struggling. I was just actually short this one yesterday, and I didn't take my money when I should have, and I kind of was hoping to play this back down to the 10, but you can see how this thing reversed and set up a nice little hammer here. Could be setting up to go up through here again. For all of you William O'Neill fans here, you would call this a cup with a handle, and it looks good. Your next target, if it does break out, would be there and there. Indy Semiconductors, look at how they shook everyone out right here. They paused for 2 days and then they decided to move it back up. Looking to trade this one back up to the previous high. Intel, beautiful, beautiful channel here on the daily. This is one that I think I had Rhonda watch this one as it was bouncing right through here. This is where we started to talk, and she started to learn about the different time frames and what that meant. And if I remember right, this is when the market was pretty rough and Intel was getting bought. Look at what we have. We have earnings coming up, and then we ran to the previous high. I'm actually looking for this one to come back down a little bit and then possibly go back up. But we got a nice 2-2 reversal set up for today. MGM, same thing, 2-2 reversal. Micron, inside day. Netflix, possible 1-2 reversal. Neo ran right to target here. I guess you could even say it has another potential target right up here. So this is one that I tried to get into and my order did not get filled, but really like the setup of how we ran, we rested, and then we started to run again. And I wasn't going to chase it once my order didn't get filled. So that's not the chase. But keep in mind too that we also have a 2-2 reversal setup for today, but we have full time frame continuity as well. So they are buying Neo again. Nerds, this is a new one. Got a nice 2-1 setup going into today, and we have earnings coming up as well. Um, just kind of a mixed bag of nuts right now. I'd really like to see them try to push this one back up since on the year and a quarter we still have green bars, but the chances of them getting this back up to 2061 not very good. Uh, I would say there's a higher probability that we come back down here and take out the previous low, which would be the 1493. That is my play for nerds. Oracle, you can see how we just rallied right back up to the previous high. Rig took this one with Crazy Daisy yesterday, and we actually traded this down for a little bit of a move. Just one of those where we're just playing around, taking the trades as they show up. Um, this is another good one to learn how to trade on, as well as Ford. So keep that in mind. Roku is just kind of stuck in this channel. Would love to see this thing before earnings, which is on 427. Break out of here at this 69 level and just explode to the 76 area. We'll see. We'll see. I do have a small position in this one and a very tight stop. SGML went to previous high, broke out, and now right there, this candle right here is your next level, which would be 39.93. Shop, just kind of chopping around. I do like the gap fill here, and I always mark my gaps with a dashed line. Still watching that one to see if we can go. Still have an inside week here, but all the other time frames look really good. SQQQ. This is the inverse for the QQQ, the Qs. And this one is something that I've been trading a lot of as well, simply because I can go long and I can go short this symbol. And it's very hard to find some of those that allow you to short it. TWM is one of them. I love to trade TWM, but the problem with TWM is that you can only go long on it, at least with my account. But this is one of the few. Really like SQQQ. The other one, the other is TQQQ. Both affordable. They move. I will tell you that they are 3 times or 3x, and they will move on you. So just be aware of that. I know that looks like $26.94 right now, but these things can move violently, $3 moves in a day. So you've been warned. STX, this is Seagate, like how we're trying to break out of this little consolidation here and possibly move up into this 72 range. Next target, of course, isn't 72. It's actually this guy right there, 68.7 or 67.80 in that area. We already talked about TQQ. This is TWM. This is the one where, like I said, you can only go long on this. And right now we're below the 10 here. Not even interested in going long on this. I would be interested in the 2-2 reversal though, if we get up here past this 1624. So let me go ahead and adjust my alert. There we go, 1624. And last but not least, Zillow. Zillow has earnings coming up. And if we get through this area right here, we could quickly run to this 49. Be ready. This thing has been consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And it's just a matter of flipping this weekly here, which is 43.73. And then we would have full time frame continuity to the upside. All right, that's it. Be careful out there. It is the end of the quarter, end of the month, and end of the week. Until we meet again, live, laugh, and love, and stay focused, patient, and disciplined. We'll talk to you later.